Hello everyone, my name is Alex and in this video I want to share with you the story of my attempt to make video games. Well, it's actually one game to be precise. More of a mini-game. A vertical slice of a small mini-game. A miserable... Alright, but first things first, let's start from the beginning. So I believe I should begin with my background, but there isn't much to say. I'm nobody. I mean, of course, I'm a person, a man and some other things, but I'm not related to game development at all. I'm not an artist or a programmer or designer. Then how did I decide to make a game, you may ask? Well, like everyone else, I've loved games in general and video games particularly since I was a child. But for many years, I didn't think I could actually make them. I also played table games, and because I often couldn't afford them, I tried to make them on my own. My friends and I even played some, but video games were pure magic, a mystery. However, there has always been something inside me, a slight touch of imagination, a desire to create. Now real developers may say, "What's the matter with you, man? Playing video games and making them are two different things. Do you even know the subject?" And maybe they're right. Maybe there is something the matter with me. I just don't see how making such wonderful games could be mad. Look at the games, couldn't you feel? All other magic is actually real. Wouldn't you wonder just how a video game is made? Look at the devs, heroes untold. How many stories can one project hold? Looking at me now you'd say, sure, you are crazy, mate. And then Unity happened. One day I was searching the internet and found an article about how to start a new project in Unity of version 4.3 and make the first steps in it. That's how it began. The editor, asset system, scene structure, scripting, so many unfamiliar things were too much to figure out at a time. After trying to create my first project and implementing base character movement, I stepped back. I didn't know how to make all those animations or game mechanics, didn't know where to get ideas for level design, I didn't know anything. But most of all, I didn't know what kind of a game I wanted to make. For years, I got back to Unity, started a new project, tried to implement some mechanics, struggled with many things and put it all aside. Meanwhile, I read articles and documentation, watched video lessons here on YouTube, as well as accumulated ideas for my own game. And then in 2017 I bumped into a video lesson placed on Unity's official channel. This video was about making a base defense game called Breach Defense. At that time, this sample was exactly what I needed. Dynamic, fun, plain and possible to reproduce. However, I didn't feel experienced enough to make even that project alone, so I continued to learn and gather knowledge. There are engines and programs aplenty, lots of assets for free in a store. Have you made prototypes? I got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. With time passed, in 2020, I was finally ready to start fresh. I decided to make a 2D game as simple as possible. One screen, one character, and enemies coming from both sides. I started with a concept art to find a general mood and add more details later. I named it Crush&Burn. The idea was clear and I dived deep in the development. Took graphics directly from the concept art and focused on coding. Soon I realized that I wanted my project to be more stylish, so I redesigned the art a bit. I'd always been followed by the sense of dualism. I wanted to give players a choice, some variable elements. And so I did. 2 weapons, 2 styles of combat, which could be switched at any time. You could play as a warrior and crush your enemies with a sword, or you could use mystic powers to burn them. At this stage, the main loop was playable and it was sort of fun. I mean, for a project made by a single amateur. Sadly, I don't have a lot of footage of that version, so you'll have to trust me on that. However, I wasn't satisfied. I didn't like the way it looked and it didn't have any sound, a significant part of the atmosphere, so I got stuck with ideas of further development. At that time, I was burned out at my main work and the project was put aside again. Put aside, but never forgotten. I was thinking of other projects, but then I strongly decided to complete at least one before I move on. I kept coming back to it from time to time until one day I watched another video from Noah from Blackthornprod channel. In that video, Noah claims how important it is to add some small details into your project as quickly as possible to make it easier to work on. When all that you have is just a character and a platform, but they have cool animations and sounds, maybe have some visual effects, then it's much more inspiring to continue and do the routine. So I reconsidered my idea of a gloom style and returned to a more colorful palette. I redrew all the art, added more objects to the background, and finally put some sounds. And it worked. The project felt completely different. At last, I became confident of the direction I was moving towards. I wanna be where the game devs are. I wanna make my own game that's fancy, seeking a place where what do you call it? Oh, fit. For the last year, Crush&Burn has grown like it never did before. So many things were added that I can barely name them all. UI, menus, animations, enemies, abilities, items, and of course, scripts. Well, yeah. When I was watching the video lesson of making breach defense, I was scared because there were more than 25 C# scripts maintaining the game's logic. Little did I know, I would end up with over 500. But that's a story for another video perhaps. What was important, that the name Crush&Burn didn't suit anymore. I needed a new one. There are many ways to name a game. One short, maybe unique word, a full sentence with a whole bunch of punctuation, something in between, a wordplay. I chose it to be plain and fair, a name that reflects the essence of the game loop. I named it Glade Defender. Learning and struggling, I've come that far. I quit my job and embraced the chances, so now you can't blame my... Was it what again? Hit! A game in which you have to, surprise, defend your base represented by this little tree called Stumpy from waves of enemies. In order to do so, you have two weapons, a staff for melee combat and a boomerang to hit the enemies at range. Each weapon has a different set of abilities, and there is a spirit mode that can be activated when enough energy drops are collected. And of course, there are enemies. Lots of enemies. But fear not, in Glade Defender you don't have to fight hostiles on your own. You have a dog called Little Boy. He's truly little and can't fight like you do, but he may be helpful sometimes. He will follow you and worry for you. Plus, you can pet him, isn't it enough? And Stumpy isn't just a tree, it's a magical tree. When you feed it up with mushrooms, it spawns some bonuses in return. And if a certain combination is met, a powerful magic spell is unleashed. Between the fights, you can catch fireflies, which can be then exchanged to unlock some perks to strengthen your character, Stumpy, or even Little Boy. As you progress through the game, there will be special items like masks and clothes that will give you some passive bonuses and even new abilities. So I really hope it brings more options and fun to the gameplay. The good news is there's a demo, and it's in the condition when you can play it. Well, thanks to my clumsy hands, it is as buggy as hell. But if you're enthusiastic or crazy enough, you can download and try it. I'll put a link under the video. Writing some code, drawing the art, making design creative and smart. Naturally, wish I could be part of the world. Right now, I desperately need your opinions, guys. About the demo, about my skills. Should I continue to work on the full game or stop and return to my previous profession? I know the game looks pretty generic, it lacks interesting features and art style. Sometimes I truly doubt it deserves to be called a game. Yet this video is meant to get your attention, as well as to finally tell my story. Throughout the years, I've been watching many videos from talented and great indie game developers. I've been listening to their stories, and those stories have been giving me the inspiration and hope. Perhaps now I can do the same to others. Share my hope. If you play the demo and give me any feedback, I will be delighted. Unfortunately, it's a bit difficult for me to release it on Steam, so you'll have to download it manually. But I hope it doesn't stop you from trying it and sharing your thoughts. You can leave your comment here in the section below, or join my Telegram channel and Discord server. You can even send me an email, I'll attach it as well. Whatever you choose, thank you. And thank you for watching this video. Never give up and play only the games you really like. Bye. P.S. Am I a worse game developer or singer?
What would I need so I could read rhapsodic comments? What would I pay to spend all day counting likes? All that I want, my game's installed, playing it won't hurt, I promise. I am dreaming, you guys screaming, ready to hide.